A Gold Coast fisherman has attracted a catch far larger than he bargained for.
Fishing is an ancient practice that has been around for thousands of years, and it continues to fascinate and amaze people of all ages. The thrill of the catch and the beauty of the natural world make fishing a sport that offers so much to those who enjoy the hobby. From strange ocean creatures to mermaids, this video will take a look at 20 of the most incredible and shocking moments caught on camera by fishermen. Number 20. Strange ocean creature on the shore. There are a lot of strange creatures in the ocean, but the Delphinia armata is definitely one of the most bizarre. Imagine this. You're swimming in the crystal-clear waters of a tropical reef, admiring the colorful fish and coral around you, when suddenly you come across a strange striped creature. At first glance, it looks like a piece of discarded shell, but upon closer inspection, you realize it's actually a Delphinia armata, a type of armed anemone. These unique creatures are truly one of a kind. They have a tube-shaped body that can grow up to several centimeters long, and they're covered in a rugged, calcareous armor that gives them a segmented appearance. This armor protects them against predators and the harsh marine environment, making the Delphinia armata a formidable creature to mess with. But don't let their armor fool you. These armed anemones are also active predators. They use their tentacles to capture small fish and other prey that pass by their tube homes. And if that's not enough, they even have a symbiotic relationship with certain types of crabs that use the anemone's body for protection while also helping to defend the anemone from predators. Delphinia armata may not be as well known as other creatures that inhabit the oceans, but they are certainly one of the most interesting. Their unique appearance and behavior make them a fascinating subject for study and observation, and they continue to captivate the imaginations of scientists and nature enthusiasts worldwide. No matter how beautiful these creatures look, you shouldn't try to touch them. After all, the sting of armed anemones can be pretty painful. And now it's time for today's topic. In early 2019, a routine fishing trip at Lake Travis, Texas took an unexpected turn when local fisherman Mike reeled in something no one could have anticipated. Early one morning, while casting his line into the lake, Mike felt an unusual and powerful tug. He initially thought it might be a large catfish, but what he pulled to shore was unlike anything he'd ever seen. The creature, enormous in size with an abnormally large mouth and features resembling something prehistoric, immediately left him stunned. Unsure of what to do, Mike called local authorities. The police arrived on the scene within minutes, curious to see the bizarre find. Word spread quickly, and before long, a small crowd gathered to see the strange, almost alien-looking fish. Even experts brought in to examine the catch were baffled. Speculation ranged from a rare species to a mutation caused by pollutants in the lake. Let us know your opinion about what we just showed on screen. With that said, let's keep things moving. Number 19. Friendly humpback. Imagine you're out on a boat in the middle of the ocean when suddenly a massive humpback whale appears. You might initially feel intimidated, but if you're lucky, you might witness the friendly and curious nature of these gentle giants up close. One of the most incredible things about humpback whales is their intelligence and social behavior. They are known for their complex vocalizations, often described as songs, which can travel for miles underwater. In fact, humpback whales are one of the few species of whales known to sing, and their songs can be heard by other whales as far as 20 miles away. But it's not just their songs that make humpback whales unique. These whales are also known for their acrobatic displays, which include breaching, tail slapping, and even spy hopping, where they poke their head out of the water to look around. Back to our scenario. Imagine seeing a humpback whale swimming near your boat, covered in barnacles. Barnacles are tiny crustaceans that attach themselves to the skin of whales, and while they may look like a nuisance, they actually serve as a source of food for other marine creatures. It's also a sign that the whale is healthy, as barnacles only attach themselves to active whales swimming regularly. If you're lucky enough to have a friendly humpback whale swim up to your boat, you're in for a real treat. These curious creatures are known to approach boats and even interact with humans in the water, showing off their playful and inquisitive personalities. Number 18. The death roll. Crocodiles are some of the most fearsome predators in the animal kingdom, and they have a reputation for being ruthless killers. But when a group of tourists on a boat witnessed a crocodile doing the death roll on a fish just a few feet away, they couldn't help but be captivated by the spectacle. The death roll is a hunting technique that crocodiles use to kill their prey. When a crocodile catches a fish or other small animal in its jaws, it will spin rapidly in the water, using its powerful tail to generate enough force to break the prey's spine and kill it. For the tourists on the boat, watching the crocodile do the death roll on the fish was both thrilling and terrifying. They could hear the crunching sound of the crocodile's powerful jaws as it clamped down on the fish, and they could feel the spray as it spun through the water. But as impressive as the crocodile's hunting skills were, The tourists were also struck by its beauty. With its dark, scaly skin and piercing eyes, the crocodile was a truly magnificent creature, and seeing it in action only added to its allure. Of course, it's important to remember that crocodiles are wild animals, and they can be dangerous if provoked or threatened. Number 17. The bizarre Grenadier. The Grenadier fish is a fascinating deep-sea creature that has adapted in some pretty unique ways to survive in the harsh conditions of the abyss. These fish are found in the coldest, darkest depths of the ocean and have developed several unique physical adaptations that help them thrive in this environment. For example, they have large black eyes that are sensitive to the faint light that penetrates the deep water, which allows them to spot prey even in near-total darkness. They also have long, slender bodies that make them well-suited to moving through the water with ease. While Grenadier fish may look fearsome with their sharp teeth and giant mouths, they're actually a vital part of the deep-sea ecosystem. They serve as a major food source for large predators like sharks and sperm whales, and their ability to survive in the cold, dark depths of the ocean makes them a vital link in the food chain. The Grenadier is definitely one of the weirdest creatures out there in the deep sea. Number 16. Alien creature. Earlier this year, a fisherman caught a particularly interesting catch, an alien-looking creature that almost seemed like it came from out of this world. Several people on the internet dubbed the sea creature as forbidden jelly because of its appearance and texture. Transparency in sea creatures is a fascinating adaptation that has evolved over millions of years. Many sea creatures, such as jellyfish, squid, and shrimp, have developed the ability to be almost invisible by being translucent or transparent. This adaptation serves as a means of protection from predators and helps in hunting prey. The translucent or transparent skin of these creatures allows them to blend in with their surroundings, making it difficult for predators to see them. Some species, like the transparent salp, a free-swimming invertebrate, are so difficult to see that they appear almost invisible to the naked eye. This makes it harder for predators to detect them and gives them a higher chance of survival. Being transparent also has advantages for hunting prey. For instance, certain jellyfish use their transparent bodies to catch small fish and plankton. The prey sees no visible threat and gets close enough to the jellyfish to be caught in its tentacles. One of the main reasons sea creatures have developed this adaptation is that they live in an environment where visibility is often limited. The ocean is full of particles and organisms that can block or scatter light, making it difficult for animals to see clearly. By being translucent or transparent, these creatures can move through water with less resistance, reduce their shadows, and blend in with the environment. Number 15. Fishing using arm. Noodling, or catching catfish using one's bare hands, is a practice that has been around for centuries and is still popular today in many parts of the world. It requires a certain level of skill, bravery, and endurance to be successful, and those who practice it often have a deep respect for the fish they're pursuing. The practice of noodling is believed to have originated in the southern United States, where it's still popular today. Noodlers typically wade into shallow water and feel around for catfish in underwater holes and crevices. Once a catfish is located, the noodler will coax the fish out of its hiding place and grab it by hand, often using a technique called the hole. In this video, one man tried his luck noodling, and luckily his bait attracted a pretty big catch. As the massive catfish smelled the bait, it slowly waded toward the man's arm. The man was pretty excited about the possibility of catching an enormous fish, but he didn't realize that hauling the creature up would be incredibly challenging. Kudos to the man though. He struggled a lot, but with some encouraging words and a lot of cheering from the crowd, he finally caught the carp and pulled it up. Now, this looks like fun, but noodling is not without its risks. Catfish can be intense and aggressive creatures, and they can easily overpower an unwary or inexperienced noodler. Injuries are common, with broken fingers, cuts, and bruises among the most common hazards. Additionally, noodling is often illegal in many areas, as it's considered a form of unfair or unsportsmanlike fishing. Despite the risks and legal issues, many people are drawn to the challenge and excitement of noodling. For those who practice it, there's a deep sense of connection to the fish and the water, as well as a great deal of respect for the fish they're pursuing. And while it may not be the most practical or efficient way to catch fish, noodling remains a unique and fascinating activity that will thrill anyone looking for a new and exciting fishing adventure. Number 14. Real mermaid. Mermaids have been a part of popular culture for centuries, captivating people's imaginations with their unique beauty and mysterious existence. These half-human, half-fish creatures have appeared in folklore and mythology across the world with varying depictions and interpretations. In Greek mythology, mermaids were known as sirens, seductive creatures who lured sailors to their deaths with their enchanting voices. In Norse mythology, the mermaid-like creatures were known as miras, believed to have the power to control the weather and create storms. In some African legends, mermaids were seen as protectors of the ocean and its inhabitants. Mermaids have also been portrayed in popular media, from classic fairy tales such as Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid to modern films like Disney's animated adaptation of the same story. In recent years, mermaids have gained renewed popularity with the rise of mermaid-themed events such as mermaid conventions and swimming schools, where people can learn to swim with mermaid tails. In this video, a mermaid was allegedly caught near a small village in Asia. However, the exact location was never disclosed by the uploader. Despite many mermaid sightings, the existence of these creatures has never been confirmed. Number 13. The giant squid. The giant squid is one of the most elusive and mysterious creatures of the deep sea, and for centuries, scientists and sailors alike have been fascinated by this enormous cephalopod. However, it wasn't until 1874 that the very first giant squid was caught and photographed, providing researchers with the first tangible evidence of the creature's existence. The giant squid was caught off the coast of Newfoundland by a team of fishermen who had been searching for the elusive creature for years. They used a specially designed harpoon to capture the squid, which was estimated to be around 20 feet in length. The crew brought the squid back to shore, where it was photographed and studied by scientists. The photographs of the giant squid caused a sensation, as they were the first clear images of the creature that had ever been seen. Scientists were fascinated by the squid's enormous eyes, larger than any other animal on Earth, and its tentacles, which were covered in hundreds of powerful suckers. The discovery of the giant squid sparked renewed interest in the study of deep-sea creatures, and scientists began to explore the depths of the ocean in search of other elusive creatures. Today, the giant squid remains one of the most fascinating and mysterious creatures of the deep sea. Researchers continue to study and learn more about this incredible creature each year. In many ways, the first giant squid ever caught and photographed in 1874 marked a turning point in our understanding of the ocean and the creatures that inhabit it. It opens up the possibility that even bigger creatures could be out there in the deep blue. Number 12. The day's catch. Seeing an eagle swooping down to snatch a fish from a lake or river is a sight to behold. It's incredible to witness these majestic birds hunting, but when an eagle is stealing a fisherman's catch right out of their hands, it's a whole different level of excitement. Predators in nature are getting smarter, and in this video, an enormous eagle is perched on a tree branch overlooking a lake where a fisherman has cast his line. As the fisherman reels in his catch, the eagle suddenly dives into the water, using its powerful claws to grab the fish right out of the water. The fisherman is stunned as the eagle takes off with his catch, leaving him with nothing but an empty line. While it may be frustrating for the fisherman, it's definitely an incredible clip. Eagles are known for their impressive hunting skills and are particularly adapted to catching fish. Their sharp talons and mighty wings make them formidable predators, and they can snatch fish out of the water with incredible speed and precision. These animals have incredible eyesight and can spot prey from over a mile away, and when they dive to catch it, they can reach speeds of up to 120 miles per hour. Bald eagles are particularly impressive when it comes to fishing, using their sharp talons to snatch fish from the water. If you thought that was impressive, golden eagles can actually take down prey as large as deer and antelope. These birds have powerful talons that they use to grab and carry their catch. It's no wonder eagles have been revered throughout history as symbols of strength and power. Number 11. Thieving whale. Imagine being out on your fishing boat, working hard to catch your daily haul, when suddenly you see a massive whale swimming towards you. At first, it may seem like a beautiful and awe-inspiring sight, but as it gets closer, you realize it's not just passing by, it's after your catch. This is precisely what happened to a group of fishermen when a whale shark decided to help itself to their catch of fish. The whale was spotted swimming around the boat, and at first, the fishermen thought it was just curious. But then they noticed that it was actually nibbling on their fishing nets, trying to steal their fish. Whale sharks are known for their intelligence and curiosity, and this whale was no exception. It quickly discovered that the fishermen were catching fish and that the nets were the key to getting at them. So, it began using its massive jaws to bite and tug at the nets, trying to break them open and get at the herring inside. For the fishermen, it was a frustrating situation. After all, they had worked hard to catch those fish and didn't want to lose them to a whale. But at the same time, they couldn't help but be amazed at the sight of such a magnificent creature up close. Eventually, the whale managed to tear a hole in the net and steal some of the fish, but the fishermen managed to salvage the rest of their catch. And while it might have been a bit of a setback for them, it was an incredible experience they would likely never forget. Number 10. $1.5 million whale vomit. Whale vomit, also known as ambergris, has been a valuable commodity for centuries. Despite its origins as a bodily secretion of the sperm whale, it is highly sought after for its unique aroma used in perfumes and other luxury items. The rarity of the substance, combined with its strong demand, has led to its high price tag. Ambergris is formed in the digestive system of sperm whales as a byproduct of their consumption of squid and other marine life. Over time, it's expelled from the whale's body and can float in the ocean for years before washing up on shore. Because of its scarcity and unpredictable nature, ambergris can be extremely expensive, with prices ranging from a few hundred to tens of thousands of dollars per pound, depending on its quality. The value of ambergris lies in its unique scent, which is described as musky, earthy, and slightly sweet. It's often used as a fixative in perfumes, allowing the fragrance to last longer on the skin. In addition to perfumes, ambergris is used in high-end skincare products and as a flavoring agent in food and beverages. In 2021, a group of fishermen from the Middle East discovered a lucky find in the Gulf of Aden. 35 men from Yemen discovered the carcass of a sperm whale floating in the ocean. However, it wasn't the only thing floating in the water. Next to the whale was a massive chunk of the precious and highly sought-after ambergris. It was incredibly stinky, but it was all worth it because the whale vomit made them $1.5 million richer. Number 9. Long-armed anemone. Anemones are fascinating creatures that are known for their beautiful, waving tentacles and their ability to regenerate their limbs when they're damaged. But did you know that some anemones can also reproduce by spawning? One such anemone is the long-armed anemone, found in the waters off the coast of North America. These anemones have long, slender tentacles that can extend up to a foot in length, and they're known for their bright purple or pink coloring. In the spring and summer months, long-armed anemones begin to spawn, releasing their eggs and sperm into the water column. This process is triggered by changes in the water temperature and light levels, and it typically occurs in the early morning hours. During spawning, the anemones release a cloud of eggs and sperm into the water, which drifts away on the currents. The fertilized eggs eventually hatch into tiny larvae, which spend several weeks drifting through the water column before settling on the ocean floor to begin their life as new anemones. For marine biologists and other scientists, the spawning of the long-armed anemone is a fascinating event to study. By monitoring the timing and frequency of spawning, researchers can gain insight into the reproductive patterns of these creatures, as well as the environmental factors that influence their behavior. Number 8. Cyclops shark. The ocean is full of fascinating and mysterious creatures, and when a group of fishermen recently discovered a small albino Cyclops shark, they were stunned by its unusual appearance. This tiny shark, which measured only a few inches long, had a single eye in the middle of its head, giving it a distinctively alien-like appearance. Now, I don't know about you, but this creature is incredibly terrifying to look at. Its namesake, Cyclops, is an ancient mythological creature of Greek origin. He was a giant man-like beast with one eye in the center of his face. While this shark may not be mythical, it's definitely as close to fantasy as possible. The helpless-looking creature was discovered inside the womb of an adult shark, which died after it was tangled in the fisherman's net. The adult was cut open to remove its gut, a standard procedure when the fetus was found. Unfortunately, the shark fetus was also dead. It's quite unclear why exactly the shark only had a single eye, but the most likely reason is that the shark was underdeveloped or had a genetic mutation. Due to its malformation, the small shark would not have survived in the wild. Pretty freaky, huh? Number 7. Mermaid in Japan. The discovery of a mermaid mummy off the coast of Japan has caused a sensation in the scientific community and captured the imaginations of people around the world. In 2022, researchers finally decided to probe this weird mermaid mummy, discovered off the coast of Japan more than a century ago. It was only about 12 inches long and was displayed in a wooden box at a temple in Okayama Prefecture. People had been praying to it for ages before it was stored away 40 years ago. According to the letter inside the box, some fishermen caught it between 1736 and 1741. The researchers think it was probably created decades later as a hoax to trick rich people into buying it. The mutant fish resembled a ningyo, a fish-like creature with a human head said to increase health, longevity, and cure diseases. Basically, the tricksters were hoping to sell this piece to someone who was under the impression it was a mystical item that would cure their illness or prolong their life. The team from the Kurashiki University of Science and the Arts got to study it and used a bunch of fancy techniques like X-rays, CT scanning, radiocarbon dating, electron microscopy, and DNA analysis. When they finally released their findings, it was even weirder than they expected. Initially, people believed the mermaid was made from the corpse of a monkey and a fish, but the reality was different. It turns out the mermaid's torso wasn't even made from a monkey. It was made from a bunch of stuff like cloth, paper, cotton, and metal pins, all held together to look like a body. The torso was also painted with a mix of sand and charcoal. However, parts of the mermaid were made up of other animals, like mammal hair, fish skin, predatory fish jaws, and unidentifiable animal claws. The bottom half of the mermaid did come from a fish, probably a croaker. The researchers couldn't find any complete DNA from the mermaid, but they did figure out that the scales could date back to the early 1800s. The scans also showed that whoever made this artifact put a lot more effort into it than expected. There are 14 other mermaids, such as this one, that have been found in Japan, and the team hopes to study them for comparison. Number 6. Smartest fish in the world. Have you ever gone fishing and had a fish tease you by swimming back and forth, nibbling at your bait but never taking the hook? It can be frustrating, but it's also a reminder of just how intelligent some fish can be. It's not uncommon for fish to figure out that the bait on your hook isn't actually food, especially if they've been caught before or have encountered similar lures in the past. So what's a fisherman to do? Just take a look at this clip. You can see a fish swimming slowly back and forth, trying to bite the bait and pull it. However, it is intelligent and careful enough to avoid getting hooked. This is the reason why fishing will really teach you patience. In the end, fishing is a game of patience, skill, and luck. Some days you may catch your limit with ease, while on other days, even the most brilliant fish may elude you. But whether you're a seasoned angler or just starting out, the thrill of the chase and the satisfaction of landing a big catch make it all worthwhile. Number 5. Cutest shark bite. Sharks are often regarded as one of the most fearsome creatures on Earth, and it's not hard to see why. These apex predators have been around for over 400 million years and have evolved into efficient killing machines. With their sleek bodies, powerful jaws full of razor-sharp teeth, and incredible senses, they're perfectly adapted to life in the ocean. Sharks have a reputation for being aggressive and dangerous to humans, but the reality is that shark attacks are relatively rare. In fact, humans are more of a danger to sharks than the other way around, with millions of sharks killed every year for their meat, fins, and other body parts. There are over 500 species of sharks, ranging in size from the tiny pygmy shark to the massive whale shark, which can grow up to 40 feet long. Some species, such as the great white shark and the tiger shark, have been known to attack humans, but most species are not considered a threat to humans. Certainly, this little creature circling this fisherman isn't a threat. You can see the tiny fella carefully swimming around a man submerged in the water. After a few seconds, the creature decided to interact with the man and take a curious bite. Finally, while sharks may have a fearsome reputation, it's actually a fun fact that they only bite out of curiosity. Despite their sharp teeth and powerful jaws, sharks are not necessarily bloodthirsty predators seeking to attack humans at every opportunity. In fact, many shark attacks on humans are simply cases of mistaken identity or exploratory bites, where the shark is merely testing to see what the object in front of it is. Once the shark realizes the thing is not its typical prey, it usually releases the person and swims away. This behavior shows that sharks are intelligent and inquisitive creatures. Number 4. Massive lobster. Giant lobsters are a fascinating species with a number of unique features and interesting facts to discover. For starters, they can grow incredibly large. The largest recorded specimen was caught off the coast of Nova Scotia and weighed over 44 pounds. Now, take a look at this particular monstrous lobster getting pulled out of the water by several men. This creature is so huge that it looks like it could be the single cuisine for a seafood buffet. Of course, I'm just joking. Lobsters this huge also have an impressively long lifespan, with some individuals living over 100 years. This means that they've been around for a long time and have likely witnessed many changes in their environment. Despite their size and longevity, giant lobsters aren't immune to predators. They have many natural enemies, including seals, octopuses, and even other lobsters. But one of the biggest threats to giant lobsters is actually humans, who hunt them for food or as trophies. Another interesting fact about giant lobsters is that they're able to regenerate lost limbs. This means that if they're attacked or injured, they can regrow the missing limb over time. In fact, some fishermen intentionally remove one of a lobster's claws, knowing that it will eventually grow back and they can catch the lobster again in the future. However, the authenticity of this clip is being questioned. After all, there isn't really any scientific evidence that a lobster can grow this huge, but who knows? Number 3. Horseshoe crab. This strange sea creature is one of the most bizarre life forms in the ocean, not only because of its physical attributes, but also because of its habits and biological features. Horseshoe crabs are fascinating creatures that have roamed the Earth for over 450 million years, making them one of the oldest species in existence. Despite their name, horseshoe crabs are not true crabs at all, but rather a type of marine arthropod that is more closely related to spiders and scorpions. One of the most striking things about horseshoe crabs is their unique appearance. Their hard exoskeleton is shaped like a horseshoe, hence their name, and is covered in tiny spines and ridges that protect them from predators. Horseshoe crabs also have 10 legs that they use for crawling along the ocean floor and digging in the sand to lay their eggs. Speaking of eggs, horseshoe crab reproduction is a truly unique process. Every spring, horseshoe crabs migrate to shallow water to mate and lay their eggs. The female horseshoe crab can lay up to 90,000 eggs in a single nest, which the male then fertilizes. Once the eggs are laid, the male remains on top of the nest to protect it from predators, while the female goes back into the ocean. But the most interesting thing about horseshoe crabs may be their blue blood. Horseshoe crabs have copper-based blood that turns blue when exposed to oxygen. This blood contains a unique substance called limulus amoebocyte lysate, that's a mouthful, which is used to detect bacterial endotoxins in medical equipment, vaccines, and other products. This unique property of horseshoe crab blood has made it a precious resource for the medical industry. Number 2. Fish bite. In most cases, swimming with sea creatures without disturbing them in their natural habitat sounds like a great idea. However, it might turn into a pretty disastrous event if sea creatures get rather temperamental. Giant groupers are known to be one of the largest bony fishes in the world and can grow up to 8 feet in length and weigh over 800 pounds. These gentle giants are known for their curious behavior and have been known to interact with divers. However, in some cases, they've also been known to bite divers, causing injuries. One of the reasons why giant groupers may bite divers is because they're attracted to shiny objects or flashlights that the divers use. These fish are opportunistic feeders and will eat anything that fits in their mouths, including smaller fish or crustaceans, which may appear to the giant grouper as shiny objects. Another reason why giant groupers may bite divers is to protect their territory or their offspring. These fish are known to be territorial and will defend their space from any intruders. Divers who get too close to their territory may be seen as a threat, and the giant grouper may react by biting to protect its home. Despite the potential risk of being bitten, many divers still enjoy interacting with giant groupers as they're known for their calm and curious behavior. However, it's important for divers to be aware of the potential danger and to respect the space of these amazing creatures in their natural habitat. Number 1. Lobster with eggs. Lobsters are fascinating creatures, not only for their culinary value but also for their interesting behaviors. One of the most intriguing aspects of the lobster's life cycle is how they store their eggs. Female lobsters carry their eggs on the undersides of their tails for several months until they're ready to hatch. Just take a look at this clip and check out this interesting catch. Lobster eggs are small, black, and initially look like caviar when they're first laid. The eggs are glued together in a neat little bunch, and the female lobster tucks them under her tail, where they're held in place by a series of flaps. The eggs then grow through several stages of development, and as they grow, they become more visible through the lobster's translucent shell. The female lobster will often fan her tail, which circulates the water over the eggs, providing them with oxygen and removing waste products. The eggs take several months to develop, and during this time, the female lobster will guard them fiercely against predators. Once the eggs are ready to hatch, the female lobster will release them into the water, where they will drift and develop into tiny translucent larvae. Which of these clips intrigued you the most? Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video.